Impact Church. My name is Richard Stewart. I am a pastor and a lawyer, a personal injury lawyer. So I have a lawyer joke for you. By the way, I love the band today. It sounded terrific. Where is the band? There's the band. Okay, the band. I said, band. That was a great, honestly, that was terrific. I mean, so good. Such good stuff. So, here's the joke. I just came with one. Clyde comes in to see a lawyer for the first time and says, "How much do you charge?" The lawyer replies, "I charge $200 for 3 questions." Clyde said, "Well, that's steep, isn't it?" The lawyer said, "Yes, it is. Now, what's your third question?" That one always kills. That side of the room. All right. We are doing until our grand opening, I'm sort of looking back over the past 5 years. It's been 5 years as of April of 2019, so we're going to claim 5 now in advance. 5 years of pastoring a church, coming from never having really even went to church that much, to getting in church and falling in love with Jesus, to planning a church and pastoring. It has been like a whirlwind. It's been really quick. And so I'm looking back over 5 years at the different sermons we've done, and there's certain ones that I think, or at least in my opinion, I didn't take a vote or anything, but in my opinion, based on, maybe what I heard afterwards, how it felt, the energy in the room, and just my personal opinion of what was given, the message that it was talking about. There's certain ones I just thought were, some of the core messages of Impact Church. And I'm sort of going back through those. Ava, I'm going back through those, and I just wanted to call my kid's name out. So she would be embarrassed. I'm sorry, Trey. I can do it with anybody, really, okay? Mike, just be on your tiptoes here. So I'm going through these, Lance, and what I'm doing is I'm doing them, Chloe. I'm doing it again, and I'm going through it, and most pastors will tell you that you can preach the same sermon 3 Sundays in a row and the congregation wouldn't even know. So I probably preached this one 2 other times in the past 5 years. And to me, this one is so important. I want to tell you why. Growing up in the 80s, there was video games came out in the 80s, at least the good ones, the Pac-Mans and all these things. And there were some other video games, like the shoot-'em-up games and violent games, and there was music that started coming out in the 80s that you really hadn't been out before that talked about some violence and some misogyny and all these things. And so there was a big discussion about whether or not the stuff you saw and listened to would actually affect you. Do we let our kids play these video games where they kill people? Because maybe they'll kill people when they get older. Do we let our kids listen to music where it talks about slapping bitches and hoes? Or do we not? Okay, do we not? Because maybe they'll grow up and they'll be like that. I'm just a reflection of the culture. Don't get mad at me because I said the B word up here. All right? This is what I grew up listening to. And if you were my age, you did too. Maybe it's a little better now. I don't know. Now it just seems different, so I can't really opine on that. But the question was always, does it matter? There was even a big thing where, if you remember, what was it? 2 Live Crew. They came out with an album called Nasty As They Want to Be. And it got banned in Miami-Dade County. And stores wouldn't sell it. And it was banned by the government. And so Luther Campbell, if I'm not mistaken, he had issue that thought it was against the Constitution to ban his music, so they had a big thing. He made a song called Banned in the USA, which was a takeoff of Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. If you probably never heard it, my kids have probably, because I probably played it. And it was the whole issue, is does this music negatively affect you, or is it just something you listen to? Does this video game negatively affect you, or is it just something you play? Does the TV that you watch negatively affect you, or is it just something you do for fun? That's a big question. Because what you put in here matters if it's going to come back out. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so it's been a huge question. And the fact is, the Bible answers it loud and clear. We're going to talk about that today. Because I get so tired of Christians especially, even pastors and stuff, where they listen to stuff and do stuff and act like, oh, it's no big deal. I'm mature enough to do it. I'm a grown man. I'm not going to go out. No. What you put in here matters. It matters a lot. We're going to talk about that. But I want to go back real quick, and I want to talk about something I told my son Trey. Maybe 3 years ago, before college, he's probably a junior, and I see he was a junior in high school, and he wasn't doing that good with the grades. The grades were sort of iffy. He could go either way. He could really blow it and just screw it up and then not do good and not get into college, or I could step on the gas and he could do better and get into college. And I remember talking to him, and this is what I said. I said, you are in a restaurant right now. And everybody in here, listen to me. Look in my eyes, brain focus. You're in a restaurant right now. The waitress just handed you a menu. And she says, what would you like to order? And I was like, Trey, you're in a restaurant, and what you order is going to determine what she brings. If you order a cheeseburger, she's going to bring you a cheeseburger. If you order a steak, she's going to bring you a steak. It's what you order in life. It's what you pick in life that's going to determine what comes back later. And that's the connection we don't seem to make always. It's what you pick to do. Are you going to put in the work for that career you want, or are you just going to hope it happens? What you order at that restaurant table is going to determine what that waitress brings. Another way to put it is this. By the way, it worked. Dude got a 3-point. I mean, he got into college, so Dad of the year, right here, buddy. Okay? Anyway, another way to put it is this. This premise, basically, this can change your life. I'm not even joking around with it. This can change your life if you just get it in your head. Direction determines destination. Direction determines destination. Everybody say it. Direction determines destination. Say it. Direction determines destination. We can say it. Direction determines destination. I'm going to say that about 5,000 more times before this sermon's done, because if you get that, your life can change. Direction determines destination. It's something you know when you drive. You know, if we say, hey, Green Tomatoes is right, take a right on Richard Front at the red light, and you're like, no, I'm going to take left, but I'll still see you there. I'm like, no, you won't. Direction determines destination. You're going up that other fried Green Tomatoes by the mall, but you ain't going to be with us. Okay? Direction determines destination. We know that when we drive. We know that when we hike. If I hiked, I don't hike. But if I did hike, I would know that. I would know that this hiking trail says it's going to lead me here. And if I follow this path, it's got a predetermined destination, and it's going to lead me where that dot says in that little map that it's going to lead me to. I'm not going to walk this trail and end up in Florida. Direction determines destination. We understand that with these things. We understand that with driving. We understand that with directions. We understand that with everything except for the things that matter in our life the most. There's a huge disconnect between that premise and the other areas of your life. Finance, marriage, finding somebody, the special person in your life, whether you can save money, your career, what you want to be, how you raise your kids. You're going to raise them right or how? There's all kinds of ways to raise them. There's a disconnect between the premise that direction determines destination, which we understand when we drive, but when we live our life, we don't seem to get it. That same premise applies. What we do, instead of understanding that in all these areas of our lives, direction determines destination, is we think that it's our intentions that matter. Well, you know what? I want to have kids that don't talk back. That's what I want in my heart. I want to have a good job. I want to have somebody that loves me. This is what I want, and that's going to determine whether I get it or not. It's my intentions, we think, that determine where you end up. That's not true. What determines your destination? Direction determines destination. It's not what you want. It's not what you hope. To a large degree, it's not even what you pray for. God set certain things like gravity in effect, and I can pray for and hope that I jump up and I keep going like Iron Man all day long. But guess what? When I jump up, I'm coming back down, and so are you. God set certain principles in motion that even prayer won't necessarily change. Direction determines destination. What direction are you headed in? I'm going to give you a real-world example, sort of. We have anybody here that just got back from Disney World by chance? We all hate you. We hated the pictures that you posted. We hated the smiles on your faces. We hated the shirts that you made. We liked it on Facebook and we smiled on your face, but we hated you for it. And we still hate you for it. Until we get to go. And then we'll be like, oh yeah, and we'll be friends again. But until then, let's say I want to go to Disney World. I'm a big fan. I even have Disney World underwear and Disney World t-shirts and Disney World shoes. I really do. These are Disney World shoes. Check it out. These are my Mickey Mouse Sorcerer shoes. They're Vans. I love it. I love Disney World. Here's what I could do. I could call Disney. Or you don't do that anymore, I guess. You could get online and you could book a week at Disney World, right? Nobody calls anybody anymore, but I could book it. I could pay my money. I could pack up. I could get my Mickey Mouse ears, my Mickey Mouse pajamas. I could get my Mickey Mouse shoes. I could pack the car, get my family ready. We could all be ready to go. You know all about this. You just went. You jerk. But anyway, we could do all that stuff. And I could get in the car and we could be so excited. I could have booked the hotel and everything. And I could get on 85 going north. And it doesn't matter how bad I want to go to Disney. It doesn't matter my intentions or my heart is really in Disney World. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters except for my direction. My direction determines my destination, and I will never get to Disney World if I get on 85 going north. Direction determines destination. It's the principle of the path. It says that direction determines destination, not your hopes, your dreams, or your intentions. But there's another formula I want to add to that, because here's the fact. Growing up, where's your direction come from? Direction determines destination. Well, how did I get pointed in this direction in the first place? There's a step before that we need to talk about, and it's attention. What grabs your attention determines your direction. And as we said, direction then determines your destination. What grabs your attention determines your direction, and then your direction determines your destination. My voice that loud, I'm like, boom! Okay, hey, let's keep it going. I'll knock everything down in here before we're done. I remember, I'm going to give you an example of that. This is going to be a lot of life examples, so if you like that kind of stuff, great. If you don't, this is going to suck. I remember after my first year of law school, let me explain law school for you if you don't know. You go to law school, if you do good, decent, whatever, a law firm, used to be at least, that defense law firms particularly would hire you to be like a summer clerk. And, I came from Granger job in the forklift. I was making like $11 an hour. And I remember I did good. Somehow, some way, God did my test for me, and I did really well. And a defense firm called Gallivan, White & Boyd hired me on to be the summer clerk. And so I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means, but that's good stuff. And they're like, yeah, we're going to pay you $1,000 a week. And I'm just like, what? I mean, that's like $1,000. I'm like 27. That's like 70-year-old money. So, and like, yeah, we're going to pay for your moving expenses to get up here, and you just live here for 3 months during the summer, and you clerk for us, and we're just going to take you out and have fun, and basically wine and dine you, and try to, make you pick us when you leave. And I'm like, okay, this is like the opposite of every other job I've ever had, where I've had like to get a job, and they're like trying to wine and dine me. So anyway, it's an interesting thing. But so we moved up here, and if you have a law degree, if you go to law school, what a lot of people don't know is you don't specialize in anything. It's not like, I'm going to be an adoption lawyer, so I'm taking all the adoption classes. No, we all take basically the same classes. You can have like a elective here and there, but primarily we all get the same degree, and we all have a general knowledge of the law, and then when you get out, it's where you choose to practice that determines what kind of lawyer you're going to be. And so it's all open until then. And I remember getting up here that first summer and going to the mall, because that's what I do, all right? Especially when I'm making $1,000 a week for the first time. I was at the mall the whole time, right? And my wife was with me because she likes to go to the mall with me as well, because I buy her stuff, especially when I'm making $1,000 a week, and that was fun. And so we went to the mall, and we parked at Sears, and if you don't get anything else out of this sermon, get this, park at Sears. It's like the magic place. There's nobody parking there. You get right in, and it's right next to the food court. You're welcome. We parked at Sears, near the garage, and we walked in, and as I'm walking in, I approached this Plymouth Prowler. If you don't know what that is, I don't even think they make them anymore, but it was like the American Lamborghini, basically, like a bad car, right? It was awesome. And on the back of it was a wrap. I thought it was a sticker. I know what they are now. It was a wrap, a big sticker on the back of the car, and it said 1-800-NOT-GUILTY. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I see the license, and it says Richard Warder, or R. Warder or something, and I knew because I heard the name. It's a criminal defense lawyer in town. And I'm like, that is bad. You know what I mean? That is bad. And I want that. And it captured my attention. And I remember thinking, I'm going to do that. I may not do criminal law, but I'm going to do something where I can be a man of the people, and I can have a car like that and put my stuff on it. And so it captured my attention. It changed my direction. It determined my destination, because I exited law school in 3 years. I had a Hummer H2, and I had a wrap all over it. SC Auto Law, personal injury, call me baby, with my number on the side of it. Don't miss this. One little thing, just like that. It didn't have to happen. I didn't have to go to the mall at that exact time. I didn't have to go to the mall at that exact day. He didn't have to park there in my favorite parking spot. But he was there. And one little thing like a car changed my direction. It got my attention, changed my direction, and determined my destination. Don't miss the power of that. Listen, what captures your attention determines your direction a lot of times, and it changes your destination. One more example. I told you I was going to have a lot of examples. My wife should be in here for this, because, I might have got a little nookie after. Did I say that? Yes, I feel too. When I had my first date with her, right? I had a first date with my wife, blind date. My friend set it up. And we met each other. And I'm so insecure. I was more insecure back then. I'm still sort of insecure. My head's too big. One of my ears sticks out. I still got a big butt. All these things. But I remember being insecure. And so what you do if you're insecure and you're on a blind date is you pretend not to like the other person. Because if you don't like them first, you don't get your feelings hurt. And they don't like you second. That's deep. But it's true. And so I'm automatically not liking her. Like, yeah, whatever. No, I'm being a jerk because that way when she's a jerk back, well, it's because I was a jerk. I'm controlling the situation. So I don't get my tiny little PC, softy heart hurt, okay? That's what you do if you're insecure. And so that's what I did. And so I'm being mean to her, and then she's like, what a jerk. She's being mean back to me, and it's just going terrible. It's just a horrible day. But something happened, and by the end, I'm like, she's the one. And I couldn't tell her that right up front, because then I'd be like a psycho split personality dude, where I hated her at first, and then I loved her at second. But over time, she realized that she was the one too, and it was great. And I totally forgot where I'm going here. Oh yeah, that one night, this girl, this blind date, didn't have to happen. My friend didn't have to set us up. I could have been busy. I could have been working at Domino's delivering pizzas, but I wasn't. One night, one date, one girl captured my attention, determined, changed my direction, and ultimately determined my destiny. Because of that destination, there are people sitting here that would not be in here. Trey, you would not exist if she did not capture my attention and change my direction. This is powerful. What captures your attention changes your direction. What changes your direction determines your destination. And if you don't believe that, you can ask my mom, who was not in here either because she's watching the babies. It changed my direction. My direction before that was not the same. A month before that, the same friend that set me up on that date dropped me off at my house with my parents. I was 19, 18 maybe. I was too drunk to walk. And I'd never been drunk in front of my parents before, and he just took off because he wasn't going to get yelled at. And so I stumble up to my parents, and I'm feeling sick, and then knock, and I remember my dad opened the door, and Mom was like, what's wrong with him, Joe? My dad's like, I think he's drunk. I still remember it. And they lead me to the bathroom, and I start throwing up before I get there, and it's all over the floor of the trailer, and I'm like throwing up, and they're leaning down to help me, and then wouldn't you know it, as I throw up the next time, I poop my pants. I'm just being honest here with you, okay? Yeah. And it's on video too, but I did. Because sometimes when you don't have that control, and it's coming out real hard up there, there's nothing to stop it from coming out back there either, so I did. And I remember the next day, my dad, the yard needed to be raked. And I had the worst hangover ever, but he made me get up and rake the whole yard with a massive hangover. And he was so smart like that. Parents don't do that anymore, but you need to. Because you know what? I'm 45 years old and I remember it. I remember it. That says that he must have done something right with that. But that was me a month before Amy. Amy absolutely captured my attention. She absolutely changed my direction. Do you get this? What captures your attention can change your direction completely, can change your destination of who you are, who you're going to be. And it can be so random, or you can make it more intentional in terms of what captures your direction. The things that grab and capture your attention influence the entire direction of our lives. Now, those are examples of some good things that grab my attention and change my direction. I'm sure you have similar instances. You may be sitting next to one of them. I don't know the stories. But the truth is, all of us also have things in our past where people, things, opportunities, events that grabbed our attention. And if we could go back, we would wish we would have just kept going. There are people we wish we would have never met, relationships we wish we would have never had, phone calls we wish we would have never answered. Because something grabbed our attention, changed our direction, and that destination ended up being absolutely horrific. And we would change it if we could. It goes both ways. In Scripture, God reminds us over and over and over again the things that you pay attention to, good or bad, determine the direction of your life. In other words, where your attention goes, there you go. Listen to me. Where your attention goes, there you go. That's a principle of life. It's a principle that's in the Bible. It's a principle of God. You cannot escape that unless you intentionally try to control what captures your attention. King David, king of Israel in the Old Testament, talks about this principle in Psalm 119, verse 35. He says, direct me in the path of your commands, Lord, for there I'll find delight. In other words, I'm going to be going in a direction. And I don't want it to be somewhere I want to go in a direction that's going to lead me to you. Lord, direct me on the path of your obedience and righteousness to you, on this path that I know will end in delight, because you are delight and you are my joy. Put me on that path, Lord. Direct me in that way. Don't let me go off to the left or the right. And by the way, that is a suction machine for a little baby girl, so it's going to go off and on, and that's fine. Just try to, I'm sorry about that, but she needs to have stuff suctioned on occasion. Then he goes on to say, turn my eyes from worthless things. Turn my eyes. This is what I'm talking about. This is the way of talking about attention. When I'm yelling, I mean correcting my kids, and they're not looking at me eye to eye. You know what I say? I mean, I've done it before. We walked in Ava's room the other night. She's looking at her phone. I'm talking to her. I'm like, no. You know, right here, brain focus. And then I tell her, it's like, I want to take your attention off of what you're doing and putting it right here so I can tell you something. And that's what he's talking about. He's saying, Lord, turn my eyes away from worthless things, put them on you, direct me in the path of your commands, for there the destination is delight, because I know you are good. Turn my attention from worthless things. Why? Because if I focus on worthless things, I'll have a worthless destination. We all have this story where we turned our attention somewhere or to someone we knew we shouldn't have, and we did it anyway, we wish we hadn't, and the destination was worthless or worse. Maybe it hurt people that you know and love. So David is saying, please God, keep my eyes off these worthless things. Then he goes on, he says, preserve my life according to your word. In other words, God, this is my life. You don't get another chance. I don't get another chance. You may die today. I don't know. Don't let me find out at the end that I was chasing worthless things the whole time, that I was on a path toward things that didn't really matter. God, put me in the path of your commands where I will find delight, because you are joy and nothing else is worth it. Change me. Take my attention off the things that have it now and put it on you, for you're the only thing that's worthy, and I know I will find delight in you. Take my attention off the crap that is on right now. That's what David's saying, because he knows that what your attention is on will determine your direction. Your direction determines what? Your destination. You can't get on 85 North and hit Disney. It's that simple. The same premise applies. Now, King David's son Solomon weighs in on this as well. Before I go to that verse, let me lay some foundation. As a pastor, I talk to people more than I used to. Generally, I don't like to talk to people, but this has sort of brought me out of my shell a little bit. So I talk to people a little more than I used to, and what they'll tell me is this. They open up a little more, like on Nicaraguan roofs, or, you know, just in a mission house, or in general outside of here, and they'll say things like this, especially guys, and like at work, whether it's a warehouse or an office. It's hard to keep the focus straight ahead when there's so many distractions and things that can get my attention to my right and to my left. It's hard to do that. I know I'm supposed to, but it's hard. And if you're in one of those times, and you will be, the verse says this in Proverbs, this is Solomon, chapter 4, verse 25. He says, let your eyes look straight ahead. Why, Solomon? Why we gotta look straight ahead? Because your attention determines your direction, and it's never the things in front of you that get you in trouble. It's the things to the left and to the right. I think God made it that way. Because for you to go off the path, he wants you to make a conscious choice to do it. He's not trying to get you in trouble. God's not trying to entrap you. It's the things to the left, to the right, when you're not looking straight ahead, when you're not focused, when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, that will get you in trouble. Solomon says, let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. In other words, don't let something capture your gaze. Fix your gaze before you. Do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. There will be times in this life, all kinds of different areas, where you're going to be tempted to let your gaze go places it shouldn't go, and you know it shouldn't go. You know you're supposed to be looking there, but man, there's something over there you really want to look at. Well, guess what? Your attention determines your direction. Your direction determines what? Your destination. I was supposed to go there. All of a sudden I'm over here. I don't even know what happened. Keep your eyes, your gaze directly in front of you. Make the decision to pay attention to those things that you need to pay attention to. Fast forward to the time of Jesus, because he weighs in on this in Matthew 6, verses 22 and 23. He says, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. Back in the time of Jesus, they didn't have flashlights and light bulbs, so they would use lanterns with oil. They'd either hold them out in front of them like when they're walking, or they put them on like a pole and hold them out in front of them. And the thing about that is, since you don't have a flashlight that gives directional light, they would just move the lamp in the area where they wanted to go. And Jesus is saying, that's your eyes. What your eyes are affixed to is the direction you're going to go. And so you got to be careful what captures your attention. You got to be careful because it will determine your destination. He says if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. The things you choose to pay attention to direct your life. If I turn my lamp that way, I'm going to go that way. I'm not going to continue going straight. I don't care if my intentions are to be a good Christian person and go straight and end up in that destination. If I turn my eyes to something else, it's going to capture my attention, change my direction, and change my ultimate destination. So what are you focused on? The things that grab your attention have the potential to direct your entire life. And to get your attention back, I'm going to drink a little bit of this malt liquor. This is Old English 800. I'm not really going to drink it. Stop freaking out. He's like, you already said the B word. Now he's going to drink a 40. No, I'm not. Malt liquor. Back in my day, it was a 40. Now it's a 42, apparently. They have killed every rap song I've ever known. I don't know why they would do that. It was good marketing before. Now this is not. But this is Old English. It's OE 800. It's the 8-ball rolling. A lot of people don't have no idea what I'm talking about right now. But this was very popular back in my day, primarily because you could get like 5 gallons of it for $1, but also because it was in a lot of rap music. And so it kind of made it, seem magical or something. Sort of like, with grunge music, heroin sort of seemed magical because Kurt Cobain, I'm gonna do heroin and become a great guitar player. Like, Kurt, no, you're not. You're gonna die. But anyway, that wasn't in my notes, so I apologize if it was offensive. OE 800. OE 800, I drank so many of these things, it's ridiculous, but it's dumb, Ava. Don't you ever even think about it. It tastes like dog pee, and that's a fact. It really does. It's terrible. Yes, especially if it's warm. You gotta have that. It's not even glass anymore, by the way. I don't mean to complain about OE 800 up here. That's not why I came. But it's plastic, and with a plastic top, it's like no quality anymore in this world. It used to be glass. You'd break it, and it would like break your toe. All right, so anyway, I've got the stuff here. Alcohol, soda, and water. I drank some of the soda on the way in. I couldn't help it. Water, soda, and alcohol, soda, and water. I want to talk about these because here's the deal. I think everything in your life, everything in this world can be separated into 3 different categories. Everything you do and everything that's going to come at you today and next week is going to be in 3 categories. Water, soda, and alcohol. First, we have water. Water is healthy. You need it to survive. Your body can't live without it. You have to have this stuff. It's good for you. There's nothing wrong with it. And to me, that category in your life would be things that are good for you, okay, that you need. There's nothing bad about it. It's what's going to make you grow. It's going to make you whole. It's going to make you complete. It could be things like when I first found Jesus. I did a 40-day fast where I cut out P93.7 and 93.3 The Planet. I'm a big grunge guy, and I love all that music, but I'm like, I want to fix my eyes and my gaze on something better, and we'll see what happens. I never went back. 40 days, I never went back. That's water. The Christian music. Listen, I know I got some good friends that I love, like Chris Hall, making fun of Chris Tomlin, but buddy, hey, Chris Hall, you want some of this? Bring it on, buddy, bring it on. Chris Tomlin's awesome, all right? To me, he is. He's water. All the Christian music that I listen to is water. Going to the Cove with my wife, which is a place where we listen to Christian music, is water. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. It could be a lot of things. It's reading the Word. It's praying. It's being in Scripture. It's doing all that stuff. It's water. It's good for you. Your body needs it. You have to have that stuff. Going on a mission trip, focusing on Jesus. Thinking about paying money to support kids in Nicaragua. This is water. This is great stuff. These are water. Now I want to talk about it. We're clear about water. What water is. Can you think of some water in your life? What's your water? What do you do that's just all good? There's nothing wrong with it. Nobody can tell you if there's anything wrong with it. Yes. And there's some other things that may be individual about water. Like it may not be water for you necessarily, but it's water for me. It's a very small subset of things like Andy Griffith to me is water. Because it just reminds me of good stuff and it's godly and all that. Little House on the Prairie to me is water. I like to watch that stuff, and it just puts me in a good place. You may be like, those 2 shows suck. That's okay. Yeah. But to me, it's water, and you can understand where I'm coming from. Then we have, and this is a very important category, soda. And here's the deal with soda. Right? It's not really like it's quote-unquote bad for you. I mean, you can read the ingredients, and there's literally nothing in this drink at all. I'm not surprised it's even there. Everything's 0. There's literally nothing in my hand right now. It's all a figment of your imagination. There's nothing in here. I'm reading it to you, 0, 0, 0. I'm like, what is it here? There's nothing in here. It's not necessarily bad for you. All right? I mean, soda's not bad for you. It's not going to make you get drunk and hit somebody, get arrested naked or anything like this fellow over here. It's not going to make you do that. It's not bad for you. So what's the deal about soda? Soda's things like, you know, it's the things in your life that aren't liquor, that aren't alcohol. They're not bad. They're just not water. They're just in the middle. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just the other things. What's so bad about that? What's so bad about that? I'll tell you, okay? Here's the deal. I forgot the deal. That was the important part. I talked for 10 minutes about O800 and I forgot the deal about the sermon. Here it is. Here's the deal. I still have the deal. Here we go. It's not that it's inherently bad. Here's the problem with soda. Listen carefully. This is important, actually. The problem with soda and those things that aren't really bad for you is that when you're drinking too much soda, you don't want that anymore. When you're drinking too much soda, you sort of lose your appetite for water. In fact, the more soda I drink, the more soda I want. And proportionally, the less water I drink, the less water I want. It's the same thing with those categories. The more stuff in the middle that's not bad for you, you fill your life up with, you think, well, I'm not doing anything bad. That's fine. But you're filling yourself up with something, and I promise you, you're not really wanting this anymore. It's not that it's bad, it's that it took the place of something better. And that matters. And it matters a lot. I'll give you some examples. You know, with video games, they're not bad. I mean, depending on the ones you play, I guess it could be. But in general, video games aren't bad, but all of a sudden, honey, come help me tuck the kids in. Maybe I can. I'm on Fortnite, and this is my last 5 minutes, and I'm going to win the whatever that stuff's called. You know? It's not that the video game's bad. It's like it's taking the place of something better. You know, I got this hobby, I got a new motorcycle, I want to get it fixed, man. I want to ride on Sunday because the leaves are just better on Sunday up in the mountains, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not going to go to church this Sunday. Not that my motorcycle's bad. It's just that it can take the place of something that's better. That's what I'm trying to get across to you. It's not that the stuff is bad. It's that it takes the place of something that's better and something you absolutely need. Hobbies can be that way. My hobby, your hobby. So it's not inherently bad, but it becomes deadly when it takes the place of water. And what captures your attention determines your direction, and your direction determines your destination. If your attention's all here, I promise you it's never going to go that way. And I'll give you an example of this, a personal example. Like, I love 80s music. Anybody else like 80s music? Yeah, you all do. You don't want to get kicked out. 80s music is the bomb. Jesse, you say it's the best you've ever heard? Makes you shake with anticipation and excitement? That's awesome, brother. All right, so with 80s music, you know, I told you I did the 40-day fast and listened to Christian music, never went back. But when I get really stressed out, which has been almost all the time lately, I've wanted to divert a little bit to 99.5 Jack FM, right? I don't know if you listen to that, but it's got all the 80s stuff on it, and it's a mix of a whole different songs. And so I'll listen to some of that, and I'll tell myself, nothing wrong with that, little 80s music. And right? It's not bad. It's not hurting me. Just the 80s music I'm listening to. Come on now, my gato, Mr. Roboto, I don't know the words. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you're blowing my, hey, Mickey, everybody doing it. Oh, okay, you don't have to. But it's not that that's bad. It's not that it's bad. But I promise you, because I've done it, I've experienced it. Once I start doing that, I hardly ever go back to his. I hardly ever go back to 106.7 The Light. I'm drinking this and it tastes good. Now, I remember that time back in 87 when that song came up, and I don't want water anymore. I don't want water. In fact, not only do I not want water, I want to now try 103.3 Earth FM, because it's cool too. Or 104. Whatever, the band station that I'm all in. This plays all the grunge music. And before you know it, man, I hadn't touched the dial on his. I hadn't touched the dial on The Light. And so I have to ease myself back in. You know how you ease yourself back in with some NF, man. Some hardcore Christian rap. That's how you do it. But I have to ease myself back in because I'm like, man, too much soda. I need some water, but first it needs to be caffeinated water so that I can ease myself back down to where I need to be. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Soda takes the place of something better. Not that it's bad, but that it's not what you're supposed to be drinking. Then there's alcohol. Before we even get to this one, let me reiterate something. Theology-wise, listen up. Water we turn into wine. That's the best I could do. Like, that literally is my best voice. Did you like it? Yeah, thank you. My wife says I have a horrible voice, but hers is worse. So, there is no doubt, there can be no reasonable debate that alcohol is considered in the Bible in general to be a blessing. Jesus' first thinking miracle was turning water into wine at a wedding where he was partying with the fellow weddingers. I don't know if that's a word. There is no doubt. Give me a Baptist. Give me somebody. It's not grape juice. It's not fermented. It was wine. Jewish people loved wine. They had it a lot. It was wine. There is no doubt that theologically speaking, alcohol is not like against the Bible. Being drunk is. And the fact is this. If you're like me, there comes a time where just because you're allowed to do something doesn't mean you should do something. Just because you can do something doesn't mean it's wise to do something. And I've reached the age of maturity in my life in 2007 at Christmas where I said, you know what? This causes nothing but problems. It wasn't OE at that point. You're kind of crazy, right? I'm like a 35-year-old lawyer. But it was, beer or whatever. Just regular beer, not like that. I'm like, my wife doesn't drink. She doesn't like it when I drink. I'm sick of the fights. I'm sick of this. I can't have one. I have to have 6 if I have one. I'm just never going to drink again. And I didn't have that addiction that some people have, thank God, because I know there are people that do. And it's a monster on their back. And praise God when they beat the crap out of them with a God stick. Okay? But me, personally, I didn't have that, and I thank God for that. I didn't have that struggle. I was able to just say, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. But it took wisdom because if you're allowed to, you just sometimes shouldn't, depending on who you are. And you should never get drunk. That is explicitly a sin in the Bible. All that isn't even the point. The point is this. This category is anything in your life that is destructive and has no real redeeming value. Now, most of us, when we have things in our life that are like this, it's not like we chose to have them. It's not like we really picked them. It's not like you woke up in the morning and you brushed your teeth, right? Depending on if you brush your teeth in the morning, some of us do. And you brush your teeth, you're getting ready, you're combing your hair, you put your stuff on, and you say, you know what? I'm going to get addicted to drugs today. My life's kind of boring. I haven't really done anything crazy lately. I'm going to get addicted to porn. Most fathers don't kiss their wife and their kids goodbye in the head and then say as they're leaving the door to themselves, you know what? I think I'm going to have an affair today. You don't pick, most people, something in this category. A lot of times it's things in this category with no water that determine your direction because it got your attention. And without water to give you the wisdom to stop, you wander into this area and all of a sudden you're somewhere you never even wanted to be, you never knew you were going to be, and you don't know how to get out. Most of the time you get your attention captured by the things. And this category didn't start out here, it started out over here. And it's one step at a time. Maybe looking at that attractive coworker lasted 1 second too long, and then it progressed to flirting, and then heavy flirting. Each step seems so small, so easy to take. You never really meant to do anything wrong, but before you know it, you're in the hotel room, and it's after the fact. And you're like, how did I even get here? You have to be careful because if you're not intentional with what you pay attention to, then anything can capture your attention. And attention determines direction determines destination. For so many of us, our foray into liquor, into alcohol, and things in this category begin by hanging around the wrong people. If you're in the back row and you're under 20, you need to listen to this. And a lot of times our foray into liquor begins, or alcohol, those categories, those bad things begin with the people that were hanging around the wrong crowd. I'm going to tell you a story. You're going to find it interesting. Hey, but look, give me your eyes here. Give me your eyes for just 1 second. I just want to sing today. And you're egging me up, you should laugh every time I do it. I wish you'd stop, okay? Because they're giving me awkward looks and I would stop, but for you. I never drank alcohol until I was a senior in high school. I know that doesn't sound like that's that impressive, but given some of the people that I've known, that's a little different. It seemed like most of the people in my high school had drank something by the time I did. It just seemed like that, at least. Remember the first time I ever drank alcohol was the first week in Myrtle Beach. I don't know if that's a thing anymore, but back when I was in school, it was a thing. Raise your hand if you've heard of First Week in Myrtle Beach. You know what that is? Okay. Raise your hand if you've been there. Like during, like as a senior or whatever. Well, I went as a senior, and it's like nothing but a big party. It's nothing but a gangster party. I'm sorry, I can't help it. All right, so it's a big old party. And people are drinking and all this stuff. And like, maybe I didn't want to, obviously with this group I didn't normally hang around with. And we're in this room and there's no supervision by adults whatsoever. And, you know, there's alcohol everywhere. Back in my day, they had something, I don't mean to be blasphemous, I'm trying to tell you the name of it. That was a big deal. It was called PJ. It was Purple Jesus. And they put it in the bathtub and mixed it with some melons or something. And Everclear, I think. Yeah. And they had that going on in there. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do, you know, but I'm going to try to be like these people be. And so they were funneling beer as well. You know what a funnel is, but I didn't, but I saw it, and I'm like, hey man, you're up next. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And so I did it. And I remember, like it was yesterday, I remember being down there like on my knees with the funnel going in, and like, go, like 3 gulps, and the entire beer was gone. I'm thinking to myself, well, that wasn't that bad, I don't really feel anything. Like 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh, I never drank anything before in my life. And all of a sudden, I got this in me, and it went in me in about 3 seconds flat. And I remember like being out on the strip, we went for a walk, and I'm like an insecure recluse. Like I don't talk to people. I'm not like, what's up? You know, what's up? And I'm like the life of the party here, and it's like so weird. And I remember it. And since that's, you know, that's not, I wasn't here, I wasn't asking for that. I was here. I was just saying, hey, everybody goes the first week as a senior, you know, hey, I'm just right here. Nothing wrong with that, Mom, Dad. I'm just having some good times with my friends. Something captured my attention. I took a step, and all of a sudden my direction turned a little bit. Take a few more steps down that path, and all of a sudden, a few months later, I'm drinking a lot because it makes me cool. People like to be around me when I drink. I don't talk if I don't, unless I'm like up here doing something like this. You meet me out there, I ain't gonna say, okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm a quiet guy. I'm very insecure, and I'm very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not outgoing. Introverted. That's, yeah, very introverted. But with alcohol, I wasn't. And all of a sudden, these people, these cool kids that were in high school, we're out of high school now, but the cool kids in high school, they're like me, and they're inviting me to stuff. And so I'm drinking so I can keep my personality the same, because it wasn't, there were 2 different personalities, whether I had alcohol in me or not. And so I'm drinking, and not only that, but I'm listening to gangster rap, because I loved NWA and all that stuff with Ice Cube. And they're talking about drinking 40s, they're talking about toting guns, they're talking about getting girls. That's all it was about. And wearing Raiders gear. So I was doing that. I was trying to be that, and it captured my attention. It changed my direction. And you know, what started out right here, man, all of a sudden I'm all the way over here, and I'm taking a few more steps. And then it led me to hanging out with the worst person I've ever known. I won't say his name because he's like the bad guy in Harry Potter. You just don't say his name, okay? But there was this guy, and I don't even blame him too much, because his dad abused him, beat the crap out of him every time his dad would come home drunk. His mom had died of cancer. But he was horrible. And some people in here might know him. So I'm not going to say the name, but he's in jail right now as we speak. But he was a horrible human. But I started hanging around him. And we would drink and get drunk off 40s in his garage near my house. Saturday, Friday nights, I spent so much time with him. And all we would do was get drunk and invite girls over to the garage. Because he lived with his grandma, and there was no supervision there. And so, I mean, that's all I'm doing. I'm like, drinking all the time in his garage. I'm like 19, so my parents don't care that I'm out there. And I'm like, a few more steps. So what happened? A few more steps. Now I'm solely in alcohol territory now. A few more steps. And all of a sudden, we would get wasted in this garage, and we would take my VW Rabbit diesel out to look for cars to break into. Drunk. And so, first of all, can I explain to you how stupid it is to try to make a VW Rabbit diesel a getaway car if you're breaking into something? Do you understand this? It doesn't, you can't even start it right away. It doesn't have spark plugs, it has glow plugs. Like you literally have to turn the car on, pull the knob out, and wait for 2 minutes. Imagine if somebody here like the glass breaking, they come out, let's get the car out. Go, man. I can't, I got like a minute 30. He's still far away, we're good. Ridiculousness. Ridiculousness. Few more steps. Man, I'm like pushing the edge of this category now. Why? All because I had a little bit of soda when I graduated. Went the first week. Nothing wrong with that, it's not bad. A few more steps. He's in his garage. He's got a shotgun. He said, I want to give this to you. He saws off the barrel, makes it a sawed-off shotgun, which to me was awesome because of some Cypress Hill song called Sawed-Off Shotgun, and I'm not going to continue. I thought it was so cool, right? I'm like, first of all, he was very charismatic. So, I mean, I liked the fact that I was his friend. And, like, he liked me and we were hanging out. But now he's giving me a sawed-off. I never shot a gun. I never touched a gun before this. But he gave it to me. He's like, yeah, you keep this with you. And then he gave me some shells. I think he said it was buckshot. I don't even know what that is, but it looked like little containers of like little drinks. You know? But it was shotgun shells. And so I remember I kept the shotgun shells in my cassette carrier, which I don't know what that is, but it's like a box for cassette tapes. I kept them in there in the front. I kept my sawed-off shotgun in the back of my VW Rabbit behind my 15-inch woofers, the box in the back, like in that little space back there. And I'd ride around. We'd ride around drunk doing the stuff I just told you, looking for cars to break into with a sawed-off shotgun in my car with shells on the front seat. How did I get there? Did I wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm going to go make friends with that guy who's like really in a lot of trouble and let's go drink a lot and I'm going to get him to make me a sawed-off shotgun and we're going to go break into cars? No! You never make decisions like that. It's always a step-by-step process, and it comes often from having nothing but soda in your life. Soda's not bad. We're honest, some of y'all don't have any water in your life at all, other than maybe coming here. Not in the Bible, you don't have anything outside here that keeps you focused on the things that you should be focused on. Your life's full of soda, but you think you're okay, and you're telling yourself in your head that, soda's not bad. And it's not. But here's the deal, you need this water. You need those verses that tell you to keep your eyes looking forward, not to look to the left or the right. You need that stuff. You need to have it in your soul. You need to have it in your mind so that you'll know if you dabble over here when you need to come back, when you need to not take that right, when you need to not let that capture your attention. If I'd had this in my life, I would have probably said, if I had this in my life, I may not even have went the first. If I had this in my life, I certainly would have done a lot of the things that I did, but I had no water in my life. And that's a lot of y'all. Without the water in your life, you will look and you will get your attention captured. And your attention determines your direction determines destination. Before you know it, a bunch of small steps over time have led you to a place you don't want to be at. And when you reach that destination, you will wish you could go back and change things. I promise you that. Listen, Satan wants to destroy you. Satan wants to destroy families. He wants to use any means necessary to capture your attention and turn you toward a direction with a destination that's going to destroy the people in your life and the church that you go to. I hesitate to tell you one more story just because I've basically told a whole lot of stories. But if y'all remember, I went to a church called Discover, which then basically you could say it turned into Renovation. That's sort of like the family lineage of that church. Discover Church was pastored by a guy named Dan Atkins, whom I loved. I loved everybody there. I loved the people in Renovation. It's not even like it's a sad tale. But Discover Church changed lives. Discover Church had a heart like I can't even describe. I wanted to model this church after them, but when I said, I'm just too angry at the preacher to be like, Dan was just so nice and just so like he just wanted to, his big old brown eyes, he just wanted to make it sound like a cult. but he was talking about Jesus. He was just so authentic. And I loved that church, and they introduced me to Jesus. And but for that church, I would not be preaching. I would maybe not be a Christian. Who knows what God's plan would have been or is, but I guess it was what happened. But I remember being in that church, and everything's good. But all of a sudden, there was another guy in the church, and his name was, I won't say his name, and he was doing something called Body by Vi, or V, I don't even remember, Body by Vi. But it was a bunch of crap, because come to this party, watch this, you can get a free BMW. I'm too mature and old, and I'm not being arrogant but smart for that crap, all right? It's official, it's a snake oil salesman, it's all that kind of stuff. Ain't nobody will give you a free BMW in this world unless you're doing something to produce it. So he's telling everybody in the church about it, and everybody in the church, I'm like sheep, they're falling for it, they're wanting to go to these, and I let my attention get captured by something other than the message of Jesus that was in front of me. And then It captured my attention, it changed my direction, and I left the church because of that. Fast forward a year and a half, I don't even remember, the church splits, and it's one of the saddest things I can even think about. But in my mind, I have a small piece to play in that, because I was one of the first people that just left. And I did it because something that captured my attention that should not have captured my attention. Something to my left when I should have been looking straight captured my attention. And somebody in the church that I'm not responsible for was doing something that didn't really affect me. And I let it take my mind and my heart and my soul off of the worship and off of the message. And I focused on that, and I got bitter, and I can't even listen to that preacher anymore. Because in my mind, this is the church, you're the preacher, make that stop. If you're a real preacher, now I know. I've seen the flip side of it. I can't make y'all stop stuff, you know? I mean, if you see somebody doing something you don't like, bring it to my attention. We can try to have some church discipline, but it's not that easy. It's not like Dan could have snapped his fingers and changed things. Satan will destroy this church by having you look around at the people beside you and not like them very much. That is the quickest way he will divide a church and conquer it. Men, be careful what captures your attention. Your family is literally at stake. You think one glance won't hurt, but one glance turns to two. Two glances turns to a lunch. A lunch turns to talking in your office or talking on the warehouse floor. Last thing I want to say, men, you really got to be careful with that. Don't leave that kind of legacy for your kids, of looking around, of not keeping your focus where it needs to be, of leaving their mama and leaving them. Don't do that. And if you've already done it, well, you can fix it this time around. Last thing I want to say is the young people in the back, listen to me. Man, you think, I'm just going to tell you, y'all think you're so cool. I know. You're cooler than a polar bear's toenails, right? I know you are. But listen to me. Young people. That's for the outcasts. Everybody knows that. Where's Trey? He's with Amy. Yeah, all right. Be careful of the soda in front of you called social media. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's good. All right? That's the worst thing I see right now for this generation is social media. Just because it's bad, not bad, doesn't mean it's good. You got to be really careful. You can get so deep into your phone that you can't even remember a time where you didn't have to refresh it every 30 seconds to see if you got more likes or more views. You can get so deep into it, you can't even remember what you used to do before you had that piece of metal in your hand. So deep into it, down that path, at that destination where you don't even know what's real and what's not because you're trapped inside this thing. It's like you know, a lot of people, you're a slave to image sometimes. You're a slave to other people. You're a slave to yourself. You're a slave to a piece of metal with glass that's in your hand if you're not careful. There was a great movie a long time ago. And when I say a long time ago, I mean not that long ago. The Matrix. If you've seen The Matrix, then you know what I'm talking about. But there was one of the main characters, Morpheus, looked at Neo, who was the main character. He said this. He said, listen, he said, "The Matrix has you, Neo." That's how I feel when I look at young people nowadays. On their phones all the time. The Matrix has you, Neo. Wake up. The Matrix has you. Except you're not in a prison. You're not in something. You're trapped in a cage of your own making instead of bars and locks. You have views and likes, but you have to go there every day because you can't stop. Be careful what you give your attention to. Your attention determines direction. And everybody, your direction determines your destination. Amen. Let's pray. God, we love you so much. I pray that this is one of those sermons that the people will walk out of here with just at least one thing in their mind. Direction determines destination. And be careful what you give your attention to. God, help them to focus straight in front of them, not to the left or to the right, but on you, on your word, on your commands. To be obedient to you, to walk on a path that leads to delight in you, for you are joy. You know what's best for us. You know why those borders are there. You know why we shouldn't go that way. You've seen it. You know it. You know the future before we do. And you're just trying to protect us. I pray that we will see that way. We'll see it as a good father trying to keep us from harm, not some overbearing judge in the sky that doesn't want us to have any fun. That is not who you are. You love us. You know that our best lives will be had following the path of your commands, which will lead to our delight. In Jesus' name, everybody said amen.